Hey guys, welcome back to Horticulture Geek. Join me today here in the garden. Hey there YouTube, and welcome back to the Horticulture Geek Gardens. It has been quite a while since I have posted a video because I, like most of the country, have been dealing with a terrible heat wave. The heat has finally broke here in central Arkansas, and it's just been way too hot to get out and get into the garden and do a whole lot. And I'm not one of the garden YouTubers that feels the need to video myself watering my plants every day or pulling weeds. So I just don't put that stuff out there. So I've just kind of been hanging out for a little bit, waiting on these temperatures to drop. So hopefully you guys can appreciate that and are welcome to get right back into the swing of the things for the garden. Fall is right around the corner. People are already preparing. I know in my neighborhood, pumpkins and mums are already going out. So we are hitting that time of year, and videos will be coming out a little more frequently here as well at Horticulture Geek. So today I just wanted to give you that update and let you know that that's where I've been. I've just been here. I've been working. The garden looks fairly well, as you can see. We've got lots of pretty things blooming. There's still some pretty hefty weeds out there I need to get out there and deal with, but that's okay. It's time now to start working on all that stuff. Another little update, the old shed is still there. You can see the roof is still crushed flat. Our insurance company has not yet released the funds for us to deal with that. So we are still in the process of all the storm damage cleanup. And if you're new and haven't seen the storm damage and have no idea what I'm talking about, you can go and watch that video here. I will link it there for you to see what happened. We had a tree fall and take out that corner of the garden and crush my shed back there. It's still standing, but it is crushed and the back wall is blown out. So all that stuff. So there's update number one for you guys. And then the other update is I recently had someone reach out with a question on a video that I put out a while back. I'm going to go ahead and link that video here as well. And that was how I divide plants, and I was specifically dividing a fern. And so somebody wanted an update on those ferns to see how they were doing. So I thought today would be a great day to go and look at those ferns that were divided and let you see how they're doing today. They're all still alive and well. So let me flip the camera around and we'll go look at those things. Okay, so the first one is right here. And this is actually the pot that was divided. So I took this pot full of this fern and divided it all up and put one back in this pot. And as you can see, the one that went back into this pot is doing just fine, okay? So it is loving life in this spot. It's doing great. This whole corner is just doing as good this year. So that is that fern right there. Let's go look at another one. All right, here is one of the other ones. And if we get in here, you can see it's in this little red pot here. And as you can tell, it is also filled out. In this pot, I've left it here all season long. And it is just absolutely loving its spot as well. And then the other one is right over here. And I have not yet trimmed my hosta blooms. I need to work on that. But here is the other one right here. And it is doing very well also. And it is over here in this corner. So as you can see, those ferns are doing great. They have rooted in this year. They have loved their life. They're all back to being thick, and the main pot probably really could stand to be divided again. The other two are doing just fine. But we're getting to that time of year again where it is going to be good temperatures to think about dividing things. So let this video be an encouragement to you. You can go back and watch that video on how I divided that fern. That is a basic technique that you can use to divide many things. And now you've seen the proofs in the pudding. All of those ferns I divided survived. they have thrived. They're doing great. So while I've got you here, this is kind of a short video at this point. So why don't we just go look at a few pretty things in the garden real quick before we sign off. So let me flip the camera around and let's go look at a couple things. All right, here we are in the shade garden. And I wanted to show you this rose of Sharon that I have. This is a double rose of Sharon. So it has been blooming all summer long. It is so pretty. Now, if you've been with my channel for a while, even though this is a beautiful shrub, and I do have it pruned into tree form, okay, a rose of Sharon does not naturally grow into a tree form. I have pruned it that way. But if you have been with my channel for a while, you know that this is not necessarily my favorite plant. And the reason is that all of those beautiful blooms, while we enjoy them, turn into this. It is a mess to keep under this plant cleaned up. It is a constant job coming out here and sweeping up these fallen blooms. And I just came out here, a couple hours ago and swept this pile up. I just hadn't made it to put it in the trash yet. And you can see there's already more spent blooms fallen. This rose of Sharon, like I said though, is a constant bloomer. Once it starts in the middle of summer, it just blooms and blooms and blooms and pushes fresh buds every day. And it's a stunner, but it is a lot of work. So let's go look over here. This container has just been incredibly showy this year. This Supertunia is just crazy. It's gotten huge. I really should have come in and pruned this up. It would have helped the plant out, but I just let it go. I just let it go to see what would it do, and this is what it has come up with. And again, all summer long, this container has just bloomed and bloomed and bloomed. So I'm still enjoying that one right there. And then the last real pretty thing I want us to look at is this. So this is the grapevine hyacinth or hyacinth bean vine. And these have just bloomed so good this year. This vine is just stunning. If you've been with my channel for a while, you know I typically plant this here. And I put one on this post and I put one on this post. Now I made a boo-boo early on this summer when I was weeding over here. And I broke off one of the main vines on this post. There are still vines going up this post, but the reason this side is not as thick as the other side is because I accidentally broke one of the main vines. And so the secondary vines have had to take over and they've done their best. The hanging baskets were full of stuff. Everything in the hanging baskets died out except for the lantana. The lantana basically bullied them out and said, this is our root space now. And that is just fine because it looks good to me. The yellow lantana and those beautiful purple hyacinth bean vines. All right, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video today. This is gonna wrap it up for me here in the Horticulture Geek Garden. Hopefully this video has inspired you to get out and start looking at what plants you need to divide, and it has given you some encouragement that even if you make a mistake in the garden, like accidentally breaking a main vine off of one of your vines, it can still survive. It'll still do something for you. So hang in there. Gardening is always a journey. I tell people this all the time. Whether you are just beginning as a gardener and have no experience, or you've been gardening for 50 years, gardening is always a journey. Every year is different. You may plant the same things every single year, but every year is different because growing conditions, storms, accidents, mishaps, pests, blights. You never know what's going to roll through your garden or what's going to happen. So please, 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 if you're a beginner gardener, take this as your sign that it is okay if you had some things not go so well in your garden this year. Don't let that discourage you. Start dreaming and planting of what you're going to do this fall and what you're going to do next year. All right, that's going to wrap it up for me today here in the garden. Like I said, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give me that thumbs up. If you haven't liked and subscribed, do that down below. And if you have any questions or comments, leave those for me and I'll be glad to answer them as best as I can. Until next time, from my garden to yours, I wish you all the best and happy gardening.